What's going on, everybody? P69 1000 here. Good to see you all again. I'm going to continue my series on the most haunted places in all 50 states of the United States of America. I've already done Tennessee. We're going to go through all 50 states. This video is going to be haunted places of Kentucky. So, let's get this started. Let's see. Sherman Tavern. The Sherman Tavern is a historic former tavern built in 1812, which is in the process of being restored by local residents. It was a former stage stop for cattle drivers and American Indians. People restoring the historic building have reported seeing the apparitions of Confederate soldiers and African American slaves, young children wandering around the building and the surrounding grounds. Shouting voices have been heard, along with strange music, footsteps, and doors which open and close by themselves. Sounds like a really creepy place. That's another thing, too, like in a lot of the southern, of course, I live down south, but a lot of the southern states, you'll notice that there are a lot of haunted Civil War battlegrounds, battlefields, things like that. I might do a series on just haunted Civil War activity after I get done with the haunted 50 states or whatever. But I haven't decided what I'm going to call this series yet. But it's amazing to think that how many people. I mean, you think the Civil War was, such a horrible war, such a horrible battle. So many people died. It was brother against brother. But yes, southern battlegrounds are very haunted. There's many reports of seeing Confederate soldiers, Confederate ghosts, things of that nature. Waverly Hills Sanatorium. The historic hospital originally opened in 1910 to treat tuberculosis patients. Has reportedly seen about 63,000 deaths, and has been featured in TV shows such as Ghost Adventures, Fact or Faked, Ghost Hunters, and more, and has been featured in more than just these. Witnesses have reported unexplained lights, apparitions, shadowy forms, and other various phenomena. That's a lot of people dead, 63,000 people, and tuberculosis was so horrible back then, so I could imagine that place would be haunted. Doe Run Inn. At this historic hotel, there's a quirky ghost who has been seen on the stairway and in the dining room. What's quirky about him, you might ask? He loves to untie unsuspecting guests' shoes. Many a guest have fallen prey to the prank of this quirky and at oftentimes goofy spirit. Jailer's Inn Bed and Breakfast. This bed and breakfast inn used to be an actual jail, housing prisoners from 1797 until 1987. Wow. It was Kentucky's oldest operating jail complex, listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. But some of the spirits of incarcerated folks may never have left when the building changed purposes. Witnesses, including staff members, have heard strange sounds and what seems to be disembodied footsteps and people crying. Now, I imagine a prison that was open from 1797 to 1987 has seen a lot of horrible things, probably a lot of negative energy trapped in there. This one's creepy. Gates of Hell, Grandview Cemetery, or also known as Casey's Cemetery. Grandview Cemetery, aka Casey's Cemetery, or the Gates of Hell, contains the graves of people from the 1700s and 1800s, as well as the ruins of an iron and stone gate. Some say one time an enormous green orb appeared here, hovering a short time and then shot straight up into the air out of sight. Others say they've heard screams, seen shadowy figures, and had car trouble while on the cemetery grounds. 107.5 East Main Cross. The location is believed to have been a hospital in the late 1800s. Currently, it is a restaurant with some apartments above. Before that, it was a law office. Family just moved there and have seen a man on several different occasions walking through the apartment. Strange noises and other things have been heard, but the sightings have been by 4 different people that have stayed in the apartments. Mammoth Cave National Park. Around 4,000 years ago, it is believed that prehistoric Native Americans mined these cave walls for its minerals and buried their dead inside the cave. In the 1800s, Dr. Frank Goyne, or some reports say Dr. John Corrigan, established a colony for tuberculosis patients in the cave, believing the cave air would heal them. Many of the patients died there. In the 1920s, many of the caves were privately owned and in a battle to attract tourist dollars. Floyd Collins, who owned a section called Crystal Cave, was excavated. Was evacuating when a boulder fell on his leg, pinning him. He was found the next day, but no one would move the heavy boulder, and people came from all over to follow the drama. After 2 weeks, Collins died, and his body was placed on display in the cave. Good Lord. This poor guy. The body was then stolen, and a few days later in a field, minus one leg, and he was put back in his cave coffin until the National Park System bought the cave and closed it to tourists. The cave, now determined to be part of the Mammoth Cave System, is rumored to be haunted. Obviously, Floyd's ghost is said to be heard calling for help, and objects have been thrown from an unknown source. Apparitions of African American slaves have also been sighted in some of the openings of the caves. Wow, that's pretty horrible. So this dude was, it says evacuated, which is what threw me off. So I thought he was like evacuating a lot of people from the cave. But apparently he was just evacuating. I don't know if the cave was shaking. Maybe he thought he was coming down and a rock fell on this dude's leg. Nobody could move the rock, or according to this article, nobody even tried to move it, and left the man there to die and then put his body on display in the cave. Who does that? Wow. No wonder that place is haunted, man. If I was that guy, I would definitely haunt that place. I would be pissed. And this is our last place today for Haunted Kentucky, the Bluegrass Inn. It's room 129 and 127. Very light blue orbs about the size of a softball, and feelings of dread that would make your hair stand on end. Anytime someone goes into these rooms, they usually come out screaming. Some people have reported hearing the scratches of fingernails on the walls and have actually felt fingernail scratches on their back. It goes on to say that you can also sometimes see a bright red light like a candle is burning in the window, but when you investigate the room, there is no candle. So that was pretty creepy. So that's been our list of Haunted Kentucky. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like, leave a comment. If I missed something, which I'm sure I missed a lot of places, but if I missed a place that you thought is interesting in Kentucky that's haunted, maybe you've personally been to it, let me know in the comments. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Peace, love. I love you all. Have a great day.